My friends, let me tell you today about something the world cannot give, and the world cannot take away. It is the kind of love that never wavers, never weakens, and never fades. It is unchanging love. In a world that shifts like sand, where promises are broken and hearts are wounded, there is a love that stands tall, unshaken by time or trouble. When people fail you, when dreams collapse, when everything around you says give up, there is still a love that says, I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. You see, we chase love in all the wrong places. We think it's in the applause, in the approval, in the arms of others. We try to earn it, to deserve it, to hold on to it. But the love I'm talking about isn't earned. It's given, freely, graciously, endlessly. This love, my friend, is not based on how good you are, but on how good he is. It doesn't come and go like the weather. It doesn't depend on your performance, your success, or your failure. It doesn't stop when you mess up. It doesn't disappear when you're weak. It is constant, steady, ever. Present, some of you are sitting in silence with a heart that's been broken. You've been let down, rejected, abandoned, and you've started to believe that love is a lie. But hear me today, there is a love that will never walk away from you, never give up on you, never run out on you, and that love, that unchanging love, gives you value. It gives you purpose. It gives you a reason to keep going when everything else says stop. It lifts you up when you fall. It calls you worthy when you feel worthless. It gives you hope in the darkest night. So don't give up. Don't let the wounds of yesterday keep you from the miracle of tomorrow. Don't let the lies of this world drown out the truth of this love. You are loved, not sometimes, not conditionally, not temporarily, but always, forever, without change. Let that truth burn in your heart. Let it fuel your courage. Let it drive your purpose. And when storms come, as they will, let that unchanging love be the anchor for your soul. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are fiercely, deeply, eternally loved. That is your strength. That is your hope. That is your calling. Hold on to it, believe it, and never forget it. Unchanging love is not earned. It is freely given. This truth is one of the most powerful realities a person can encounter. In a world that often measures worth by success, appearance, popularity, and performance, the idea of love that doesn't have to be earned seems almost too good to be true. From the time we are young, we are taught, sometimes through words, other times through experiences, that love must be deserved. If we behave well, we are praised. If we win, we are celebrated. If we fit in, we are accepted. And so we begin to believe that love is something we must work for, fight for, compete for. But the unchanging love we speak of today is of an entirely different kind. This love does not ask, "What have you done for me lately?" It does not keep a scorecard of your wins and losses. It does not shift based on your mood, your mistakes, or your mess. It does not diminish when you fall, and it does not grow only when you succeed. This love is constant, it is steady, it is anchored in something deeper than behavior. It is anchored in identity. You are not loved because of what you do. You are loved because of who you are. The tragedy is that so many people spend their lives chasing approval, validation, and affection. They work tirelessly to be noticed, to be accepted, to be loved. They change who they are to fit in. They hide their flaws and weaknesses, terrified that if people knew the real them, the love would vanish. And when they stumble or fail, they feel as if they've lost all their worth. But unchanging love is different. It sees you completely, every strength, every flaw, every secret, and chooses to love you still. This love does not need to be earned because it flows from a source that never runs dry. It is not based on emotion or convenience. It is not withdrawn in anger or disappointment. It is a love that was present before you ever took your first breath, and it will remain long after the applause has faded and the spotlight has dimmed. When you are at your highest, this love celebrates with you. And when you are at your lowest, this love sits beside you in the silence, refusing to leave. Imagine the freedom of living with the certainty that you don't have to perform to be loved. Imagine waking up each day without the weight of pretending to be something you're not. Imagine the healing that comes from knowing that even in your worst moments, you are still deeply loved. That is the kind of love that transforms lives. It removes fear, shame, and striving. It gives rest to the soul. It allows you to grow, not out of pressure to be perfect, but out of the assurance that you are already loved as you are. You don't have to earn this love with perfection. You don't have to fight for it with accomplishments. You don't have to manipulate anyone to keep it. This love does not play games. It does not manipulate. It does not control. It simply is. And once you accept it, it changes how you see yourself and how you see others. Because when you know you are loved unconditionally, you stop needing the world to validate you. You stop chasing empty praise. You stop fearing rejection. You become secure, not arrogant, but confident in something deeper than circumstances. This kind of love allows you to love others better too, because you're not loving them to get something back. You're not holding them hostage to expectations. You're not treating them as a reflection of your own self-worth. You love from a place of fullness, not from neediness, and that kind of love is powerful. That kind of love heals broken relationships, bridges impossible gaps, and changes cold hearts. It is a tragedy that many people go their whole lives without experiencing this love. They search for it in relationships, careers, money, fame, only to find that nothing truly satisfies, because what we all truly crave is not temporary affection. We crave love that lasts. We crave a love that doesn't run away. A love that says, I know you, I see you, I love you. And that is the gift of unchanging love. It is the answer to the deepest questions of the human heart. Am I enough? Do I matter? Can anyone really love me for me? The answer in this kind of love is a resounding yes. This love is a gift, not a transaction. You don't earn it like a paycheck. You receive it like a sunrise. You don't chase it like a reward. You rest in it like a home. And the more you rest in it, the more you discover who you really are, not the version of you that's been edited for approval, but the real, raw, beautiful, messy you. And that version of you is already enough. So stop striving, stop performing, stop exhausting yourself trying to earn something that has already been offered freely. This love isn't waiting for you to become someone else. It's waiting for you to accept that who you are right now is already loved. Let that truth sink deep into your soul. Let it free you. Let it empower you. And let it remind you every day that your value does not come from what you do, but from the unchanging love that has already called you worthy. Unchanging love never leaves, even when others do. This is a truth that offers hope to the hurting, comfort to the lonely, and peace to the broken-hearted. In life, we all experience moments when people walk away. It could be a friend who promised to stay but disappeared when things got hard. It could be a loved one who turned their back in a moment of need. It could be someone you trusted with your heart, only to watch them leave without explanation. The sting of abandonment is real. It cuts deep. It makes you question your worth, your value, and sometimes even your purpose. But unchanging love is not like the love we often experience in this world. It is a love that stays, a love that stands by you when everyone else is gone. When people walk away, they often take a piece of you with them. They leave behind silence, confusion, and emptiness. You wonder what you did wrong, why you weren't enough, why they couldn't stay. And in that pain, it's easy to build walls to close your heart, to promise yourself never to trust again. But there is a love that breaks through those walls, a love that doesn't flinch when it sees your pain, a love that doesn't run when things get hard, a love that whispers in the quiet, I'm still here. Unchanging love is not conditional. It does not depend on how lovable you feel or how successful you are. It is not based on your past or your present. It is not something that can be revoked when you make a mistake. It is a constant presence, a steady hand, a faithful heart that walks with you through every high and low. While human love may fade, fail, or fall away, this love remains. It endures through seasons of joy and sorrow, through victory and defeat, through clarity and confusion. It never stops showing up. The world is filled with temporary relationships. People change, circumstances shift, affections cool. What once felt like forever can vanish overnight. Friends drift apart, families divide, promises are broken, and in the middle of that chaos, it's easy to believe that all love is fragile. But unchanging love is not fragile. It is unbreakable. It holds strong in the face of betrayal. It holds on when you feel like letting go. It refuses to quit on you, even when you've quit on yourself. Think of the times you felt completely alone, the moments when no one seemed to understand, The nights when the tears wouldn't stop and the silence felt deafening. Maybe you reached out and no one answered. Maybe you hoped someone would notice, but they didn't. In those moments, it may have felt like love was nowhere to be found, but unchanging love was there. It was present in the stillness. It was near in the darkness. It did not abandon you, not for a second. There is power in knowing that you are never truly alone, that no matter how many people walk away, you are still surrounded by love. This love doesn't need attention or recognition. It simply stays. It walks beside you through heartbreak, through failure, through fear. It carries you when your strength is gone. It defends you when your back is against the wall. It fights for you when you've stopped fighting for yourself. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not discarded. Even when others have left you behind, unchanging love has not. It sees the depths of who you are and chooses to stay. It is a love that knows your scars and still calls you beautiful. It is a love that hears your silence and still listens. It is a love that knows your mess and still calls you worthy. We live in a time where loyalty is rare. People are quick to give up, quick to judge, quick to walk away. But the love that never changes is not like that. It is patient. It is kind. It does not leave when you fall. It does not grow cold when the fire fades. It does not abandon ship when the storm hits. In fact, it draws closer in your hardest moments. When everyone else disappears, this love becomes louder, clearer, more real than ever before. And this love is not just a concept or a feeling. It's a presence, a real living force that surrounds you, supports you, and sustains you. It's not distant. It's not detached. It is involved in the details of your life, invested in your growth, committed to your healing. It wants nothing more than to see you rise, not because it needs anything from you, but because it simply loves you that much. You may be carrying the weight of people who left. You may still be nursing wounds from relationships that ended. But unchanging love is the invitation to let go of that weight, to stop chasing people who were never meant to stay, to stop blaming yourself for things beyond your control, to stop believing the lie that you are unworthy of lasting love, because you are worthy, not because of anything you've done, but because of who you are. You are loved not in spite of your flaws, but in the middle of them, not because you've earned it, but because this love chooses to stay, every time, no matter what. So take heart, even when people leave, even when life disappoints, even when your world feels empty, there is a love that remains. A love that stays when others run, a love that holds on when everything else lets go, and if you let it, this love will heal the wounds left behind. It will restore what was lost. It will fill the spaces where others once stood. It will become your constant, your anchor, your home. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to fear losing it. You don't have to pretend to deserve it. It's already yours. It has never left, and it never will. That is the miracle of unchanging love. Unchanging love brings value to your life. It gives you something the world cannot offer, something deeper than material success, fame, or approval. In a world that measures value by outward appearance, social status, and personal achievements, it's easy to feel that your worth depends on what you do, what you own, or how you look. But unchanging love tells a different story. It looks beyond the surface. It sees beyond the resume, the bank account, the followers on social media. It sees you, not the version you show the world, not the image you try to maintain, but the real you. And it says you are valuable just as you are. Too often, people spend their entire lives trying to prove they matter. They chase after goals and relationships, thinking that if they can just accomplish one more thing or gain one more person's approval, they will finally feel enough. But even when they achieve those things, the emptiness often remains. That's because external accomplishments can never fully satisfy the internal need to be seen, known, and loved. True value doesn't come from how high you climb or how loud others cheer for you. True value comes from love, the kind of love that doesn't shift with circumstances, the kind of love that remains steady even when you fall short, the kind of love that says your life has meaning not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Unchanging love gives you a foundation to stand on when people criticize you, when life disappoints you, when you feel like you've failed. It reminds you that your value hasn't decreased. You are not a failure just because something didn't go your way. You are not less worthy because someone walked away from you. You are not invisible because the world overlooks you. Unchanging love whispers that you are significant, that your life has purpose, and that you matter every moment, every day. This love redefines how you see yourself. Instead of seeing yourself through the lens of comparison, you begin to see yourself through the lens of grace. You stop asking, "Am I good enough?" and start realizing, "I was already enough." That doesn't mean you stop growing or improving, but it means you no longer strive to earn your worth. You live from a place of security, not scarcity. You live with confidence, not fear. You live knowing that nothing and no one can take away the value this love has placed on your life. Unchanging love also empowers you to face challenges with courage. When you know your worth isn't on the line, you're not paralyzed by failure. You're not destroyed by rejection. You're not driven by desperation. You take risks. You follow your calling. You speak your truth. Not because you need to prove yourself, but because you already know who you are. That kind of freedom is rare, but it's possible when your value is rooted in love that doesn't fade. Even when the world is loud with opinions and criticism, unchanging love speaks a better word. It tells you that you are not your mistakes. You are not your past. You are not the labels others have given you. You are more than what people see. You are more than what you have or haven't done. You are someone with infinite worth, created with intention, loved without condition. And when you begin to believe that, everything changes. You stop settling for relationships that make you feel less than. You stop chasing approval from people who will never understand you. You stop comparing your journey to someone else's timeline. You start walking in confidence. You start treating yourself with kindness. You start living like someone who is truly loved, because you are. Unchanging love brings healing too. It reaches into the deepest wounds, the places where you've believed you were unworthy, unlovable, or broken beyond repair. It reminds you that no matter how many times you've been hurt, your value has not been diminished. No matter how many people have rejected you, you are still worthy of love. No matter how many times you've been told you don't matter, you do. That voice of love, steady and unwavering, begins to drown out the lies you've carried for far too long. When you believe you are loved and valued without condition, you begin to love others the same way. You stop judging people by what they can do for you. You stop measuring relationships by surface-level standards. You start seeing the worth in every person. You start treating others with dignity and grace. You become a reflection of the love you've received. Steady, compassionate, generous. That's the power of unchanging love. It doesn't just affect your emotions. It reshapes your identity. It doesn't just lift your spirit. It changes your mindset. It gives you the confidence to live boldly, to love fully, and to pursue your purpose with passion. And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to earn it. You just have to receive it. So if you've ever questioned your worth, if you've ever felt invisible, forgotten, or not good enough, hear this: your value is not up for debate. It was decided by a love that does not change, a love that has seen your worst and still chooses you, a love that doesn't walk away when things get hard, a love that calls you worthy, valuable, irreplaceable. You don't need to strive for it. You don't need to perform for it. You don't need to prove anything. You are already enough, and when you begin to live from that truth, you will walk differently, you will love differently, you will face life's ups and downs with a steady heart, because you will know, deep down, that no matter what happens, no matter who stays or who goes, your value is secure. You are held by unchanging love, and that is more than enough. Unchanging love gives strength in weakness. Life is filled with moments that test our endurance, shake our confidence, and leave us feeling helpless. There are times when the weight of the world seems too heavy to carry, when our best efforts fall short, and when even getting out of bed feels like a victory. In those times, the idea of being strong feels distant. It's easy to believe that strength is something only the successful or unshaken possess, but true strength, the kind that carries you through the storm, doesn't come from within your own power. It comes from a love that never changes, a love that sees your weakness and meets you there, not with judgment, but with strength. Unchanging love doesn't demand perfection. It doesn't stand at a distance waiting for you to pull yourself together. It enters into your struggle. It stands beside you when you are overwhelmed. It whispers hope when you feel like giving up. In moments of pain, discouragement, and failure, This love doesn't shame you. It supports you. It doesn't say, you should be stronger. It says, let me be your strength. There's a beauty in that kind of love, a power that goes beyond human understanding, because when everything inside of you feels empty, unchanging love pours in peace, courage, and resolve. You don't need to pretend when you are loved unconditionally. You don't need to wear a mask or act tough when your heart is breaking. Unchanging love gives you the space to be honest about your struggles. It creates room for your tears, your doubts, your fears, and instead of walking away, it moves closer. It says you don't have to carry this alone. That kind of support transforms weakness into strength, not by removing the challenge, but by giving you the courage to face it. There's a common lie that says strength means never breaking, never falling, never needing help. But real strength comes from knowing where to turn when you have nothing left. It comes from leaning on something greater than yourself. And unchanging love is that greater thing. It is the steady hand that holds you when you are about to fall. It is the voice that tells you to keep going when everything in you says stop. It is the quiet force that anchors you when life feels like a storm. You may have moments when you feel like a failure. You may look around and feel like everyone else is stronger, smarter, more capable. But unchanging love does not compare. It does not measure your worth by your performance. It does not grow distant in your lowest moments. In fact, it shines brightest in your weakness, because it is in those moments that its strength becomes your strength. It's when you come to the end of yourself that you begin to discover the depth of this love. This love doesn't just comfort, it empowers. It breathes life into dry bones. It lifts you from despair and puts you back on your feet. It doesn't just tell you that you're strong. It helps you become strong. And not in a loud, boastful way, but in a quiet, enduring way. The kind of strength that shows up in persistence. The kind that helps you take one more step, say one more prayer, hold on for one more day. This strength is not about controlling the storm. It's about surviving it. It's about walking through fire and knowing you're not alone. It's about facing giants and knowing that love will not let you fall. When you are weak, it's easy to believe you're disqualified from love, that you have to wait until you're better, stronger, or more put together. But unchanging love flips that idea upside down. It says your weakness does not scare me. Your brokenness does not drive me away. Your tired heart is safe here, and when you begin to believe that, you find rest. You find peace in the middle of chaos. You find strength rising from the ashes. Unchanging love doesn't require you to pretend. You don't have to fake a smile or hide your tears. You don't have to act like you have it all together. This love sees the truth and stays. It sees your exhaustion and offers rest. It sees your fear and offers courage. It sees your doubt and offers reassurance. And little by little, it builds you back up. It gives you what you need to stand again, to try again, to hope again. Sometimes, the greatest strength is not in moving mountains, but in simply not giving up. And unchanging love gives you that kind of strength. It plants in your heart a quiet confidence that you are not alone, that you are deeply supported, and that you are never beyond help. It reminds you that even in your weakest hour, you are not powerless, because you are loved, and that love is your strength. When the world tells you to be strong on your own, unchanging love invites you to lean in, to rest, to receive. It tells you that needing help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom. It tells you that it's okay to not be okay. And in that honesty, you discover the strength that comes from being known, accepted, and carried. There's a quiet resilience that grows in the soil of unconditional love. A strength that endures when the noise fades, when the support disappears, when your energy is gone. That strength is not loud, it does not shout, it simply remains, it is steady, it is sure, it does not fail. And it carries you forward, one step at a time. So if you find yourself tired today, discouraged or broken, know this: you are not without strength. You are not without hope. Unchanging love surrounds you. It lifts you, it holds you. You don't have to have it all together. You just have to let this love in. Let it steady your shaking hands. Let it fill your weary heart. Let it be the strength you need to keep going. You are not weak because you feel weak. You are strong because you are held by love that never fails. Love that gives, love that stays, love that strengthens. And that love is with you now and always. Unchanging love brings peace in chaos. In a world where everything moves fast, where uncertainty seems to reign, and where each day brings new pressures, peace can feel like a distant dream. Life doesn't always go according to plan. There are moments when everything around you feels like it's falling apart. Situations shift unexpectedly, people let you down, problems arise from nowhere, and you are left trying to hold everything together with tired hands and a heavy heart. In those moments, chaos screams loud. It confuses your mind, burdens your soul, and steals your sleep. And yet, in the middle of that storm, unchanging love steps in. Not with noise, not with demands, but with peace. A peace that doesn't depend on everything being perfect, but on knowing that no matter what changes, you are deeply loved. This peace is not the absence of trouble. It's not found in a quiet room or a flawless day. It's the calm in the storm, the anchor in the waves, the stillness in the middle of confusion. It's the kind of peace that doesn't ignore reality, but transforms how you face it. It says, yes, things are hard. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's uncertain, but you are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are loved, and that love is not going anywhere. That assurance shifts something inside you. It doesn't always take away the pain, but it gives you something stronger than fear. Faith. It doesn't remove every challenge, but it gives you the courage to stand in the middle of it with hope. Unchanging love creates a space where you can breathe again. You don't have to figure everything out. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to pretend to be okay. In the presence of this love, you are free to be human. You are free to cry, to question, to rest. And as you do, peace slowly returns. Not because the chaos disappears, but because you've found a deeper truth. Something stronger than the storm. You've found that love is not shaken by the things that shake you. It holds you steady when your world feels unstable. There are seasons in life when nothing makes sense. Plans fall apart. People change, doors close. The very things you counted on seem to slip through your fingers. In those seasons, fear often takes the front seat. It tells you that you're not going to make it. It tells you that you're alone. It tells you that everything depends on your strength. But unchanging love speaks a different message. It says, I'm with you. I won't leave you. You don't have to carry this on your own. And somehow, those words bring peace, not because your situation suddenly fixes itself, but because your soul remembers it's not abandoned. Peace from unchanging love is deeply personal. It knows exactly what you need, even when you don't. It meets you in the middle of your confusion. It doesn't ask you to have it all together. It just asks you to receive. And that receiving, of love, of presence, of assurance, is where peace begins. Slowly but surely your breathing slows, your thoughts clear, your heart quiets, not because the chaos has ended, but because you found something stronger than chaos. This peace transforms how you walk through life. You no longer react to every crisis with panic. You no longer try to control every outcome. You begin to trust. You begin to rest in the knowledge that you are cared for, watched over, and deeply loved. And in that trust, there is freedom, freedom to stop striving, freedom to let go, freedom to simply be, knowing that love is holding what you cannot. Unchanging love brings clarity in confusion. It reminds you of who you are when you've forgotten. It reminds you of what matters when everything feels urgent. It brings your heart back to center when it's been pulled in 100 directions. And from that center flows peace. Not the fragile peace the world gives, but a peace that remains even when life is chaotic. It's not fragile. It's not temporary. It's rooted in something eternal. There are times when the people around you don't understand what you're going through, when your struggles are hidden beneath the surface, when your smile covers a storm inside. In those moments, you can feel isolated even in a crowd, but unchanging love sees beneath the surface. It knows the battles you fight in silence. It knows the questions you're too afraid to ask. It knows the weight you carry, and instead of turning away, it draws near. It surrounds you with peace, gently reminding you that you are not invisible, not alone, not without help. Sometimes, peace looks like strength. The strength to get through one more day, the strength to make one more decision, the strength to keep believing even when everything tells you to give up. That strength doesn't come from you. It comes from the love that never lets go. The love that holds you together when you're falling apart. The love that believes in you when you've stopped believing in yourself. That love brings a quiet confidence, a peace that stays with you through the storm. Peace from unchanging love is not loud. It doesn't force its way in. It simply waits for you to receive it. It's found in moments of stillness, in whispered prayers, in deep breaths. It's found when you stop running and start resting. When you stop controlling and start trusting. When you stop fearing and start remembering. You are loved always, fully, unconditionally. You don't have to escape life to find peace. You don't have to wait until everything is perfect. You just have to lean into love. Let it wrap around your fear. Let it calm your anxious mind. Let it settle your heart. Because the truth is, peace is not found in a place or a circumstance. It's found in a presence. The presence of a love that never leaves, never changes, never fails. So if you're in chaos right now, if your life feels like it's unraveling, take heart. You are not beyond peace. You are not too broken, too lost, or too far gone. Unchanging love is still here, still reaching, still speaking, still offering peace, not because you've earned it, but because you are loved. Let that love be your anchor. Let it be your safe place. Let it hold your heart steady. Because no matter what storm you face, you can have peace, real peace, lasting peace. Peace that does not depend on your circumstances, but on a love that never changes. And that love is with you now. Always, forever, unchanging. Unchanging love gives purpose in pain. Pain is something we all face. It comes in different forms: loss, betrayal, failure, sickness, rejection. It shows up uninvited and often stays longer than we would ever choose. Pain has a way of stripping life down to its bare bones, of exposing our deepest fears, and of asking the hard questions that don't always have easy answers. In the middle of suffering, it's natural to ask, why? Why did this happen? Why now? Why me? And when answers don't come quickly or clearly, we can feel lost, angry, or even hopeless. But unchanging love doesn't leave us in our pain without meaning. It doesn't erase the pain, but it transforms it. It gives it purpose. It takes what was meant to break us and uses it to build us. It takes our tears and turns them into testimony. It takes the broken pieces and creates something more beautiful than we imagined. Unchanging love never wastes pain. It sees every tear, every heartbreak, every disappointment, not as the end, but as part of a bigger story. A story that is not defined by the pain, but by what is produced through it. Pain can refine us. It can deepen our compassion, sharpen our vision, and strengthen our character. But without love, pain just hurts. It crushes. It confuses. Love is what changes that. Love gives pain a place in the story without letting it write the final chapter. Love says, there is more beyond this, and that more becomes a light in the darkness. When we are hurting, it's easy to believe that the pain is meaningless, that it's just something to survive. But when we are rooted in unchanging love, we begin to see differently. We start to realize that even in our suffering, there is growth. Even in our waiting, there is shaping. Even in our breaking, there is building. Love doesn't always take the pain away, but it never lets it be in vain. It brings purpose, not by minimizing what we feel, but by giving it direction, by taking even the worst moments and using them to grow something deeper in us: strength, empathy, faith, and endurance. Unchanging love does not rush you through your pain. It sits with you, it weeps with you, it listens without judgment and holds you in your most fragile state. And in that stillness, it begins to whisper truth, that you are not forgotten, that what you're going through matters. That this pain, as heavy and overwhelming as it feels, will not last forever. Love reminds you that there is still a future, still a reason to hope, still beauty to be found, even here. Pain has a way of narrowing our focus. It makes us feel like all we see is what hurts, but love gently lifts our eyes. It shows us that we are not defined by what we've lost, but by who we are becoming. It reminds us that the valley is not the whole journey, that the night will not last forever, that healing is possible even if it's slow, and that healing doesn't mean forgetting or pretending it didn't hurt. It means allowing love to write a new story from the pain. Sometimes the purpose of pain is not something we see immediately. Sometimes we walk through long seasons where nothing makes sense. But in those seasons, unchanging love stays. It walks every step with us. It carries us when we can't keep going, and as time passes, we begin to notice small changes. The way we comfort others because we've known sorrow. The the way we show patience because we've experienced waiting, the way we encourage someone else because we remember what it felt like to be discouraged. This is how pain begins to take shape into purpose. There's a quiet strength that grows in people who have suffered and still choose to love, who have been broken and still choose to build, who have been hurt and still choose to heal. That kind of strength is not shallow, it's not loud, it's deep, it's steady, and it's born from knowing a love that never left. A love that held them through the worst and never stopped believing in them. That love gave their pain meaning. It taught them that their story was not over. It gave them the courage to get up again, even if their steps were slow. Pain often isolates. It makes us feel like we are the only ones who have ever felt this way. But unchanging love reminds us that we are part of something bigger, that we are not alone, that our pain can become someone else's lifeline, that what hurt us can help heal others. When we walk through suffering with love, we become living proof that pain is not the end. We become a source of comfort, a beacon of hope, a voice of understanding for someone else who is still in the middle of it. And when we look back, we begin to see it, not all at once, not always clearly, but enough to know that something changed in us, that something beautiful came out of something hard, that the fire didn't destroy us, it refined us, that the storm didn't drown us, it taught us how to swim, that the hurt didn't hollow us, it deepened us. This is what unchanging love does. It redeems pain, it transforms it, it gives it purpose beyond survival. We may not always understand why we had to go through certain things, but we can trust that our pain is not wasted. We can trust that love is working even in the dark places. We can believe that somehow, in ways we cannot always see, our suffering is being shaped into something meaningful. That out of the ashes, beauty will rise. So if you are walking through pain today, take heart. Your hurt is not hidden, your sorrow is not invisible, and your story is not over. Let unchanging love be the light that leads you through. Let it remind you that there is purpose even here, that something good can still come from this, that you are not just surviving, you are becoming wiser, stronger, deeper, more loving, becoming a testimony of what love can do with a wounded heart. And that, more than anything, is the greatest purpose pain can have. Unchanging love is the foundation that holds us steady through life's storms. It is a love that never falters, never fades, and never gives up on us, no matter what we face. In moments of weakness, it strengthens us. In chaos, it brings peace. And in pain, it gives purpose. This love does not depend on our circumstances or our ability to earn it. It simply is. It is constant, reliable, and powerful beyond measure. When we anchor ourselves in this unchanging love, we find the courage to keep moving forward, the peace to endure uncertainty, and the hope to believe in a better tomorrow. No matter what challenges arise, no matter how deep the struggle, unchanging love remains. It is the unwavering light that guides us home, the steady hand that lifts us up, and the endless source of strength that carries us through. Embracing this love changes everything. It transforms our hearts, renews our spirits, and fills our lives with meaning. And in that truth, we find a joy and hope that nothing can take away.